Welcome in to Kick in the Rear podcast, episode 14. My name is Joe Yarshin. Today we're going to be reviewing Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. David Goggins is a former Navy SEAL. He is the only man in history to complete elite training in both the Navy SEALs, Army Ranger, and Air Force Tactical Air Controller. He did go on to set several endurance event records as well as the pull-up record at one time. And so today we're going to be reviewing this book. It is a mindset book. I believe one of the best mindset books you could choose if you're looking for not just inspiration, but also a roadmap, a blueprint for having a tactical mindset. And this will elevate all areas of your business, investing career, and anything you do in life. So without further ado, let's get into it. Before I do the chapter breakdowns, I'd like to read several quotes that I thought were very inspiring. Epicquotes.com did a lot of the legwork, so I didn't have to track some of these down. I forgot to underline some of them. So let's get into some of these quotes here. David Goggins says, you have to build calluses on your brain just like how you build calluses on your hands. Callous your mind through pain and suffering. It's easier to accept the fact that you're just not good enough. We all have a lot more than we think we have. He says, you are stopping you. You are giving up instead of getting hard. That's one of his catchphrases is stay hard, hashtag stay hard. So it's kind of awesome. He says, you will never learn from people if you always tap dance around the truth. In the military, we always say we don't rise to the level of our expectations. Rather, we fall to the level of our training. Love that quote. So you're only as prepared as your level of training. 6, I thought I'd solved a problem when really I was creating new ones by taking the path of least resistance. Oftentimes in life, the path of least resistance might be the easier thing to do. It might be the simpler thing to do, but it's not always the thing we need to do, especially in investing. I've learned from a lot of the people I follow that taking on harder projects is the obstacle is the way. So number 7, Goggins says, no one is going to come help you. No one's coming to save you. 8, we're either getting better or we're getting worse. Denial is the ultimate comfort zone. Even if you're hurting, never let your competition see the look of defeat, even vulnerability on your face. You can will yourself to do almost anything you want. You are in danger of living a life so comfortable and soft that you will die without ever realizing your true potential. Don't get mad at others because life is kicking your ass. Success is based off your willingness to work your ass off no matter what obstacles are in your way. Life isn't always about doing the things we like to do. It's about doing the things we have to do. So, so many good quotes. That's just like 15 of them. There's probably several just in each chapter, but again, loved everything in this book, and it really motivated me to start like running again, to start working out harder, to start training with a higher level of intensity. And in my investment space, in real estate investing, it motivated me to dig deeper and stop using excuses when we're evaluating deals. And, you know, sometimes the right deal isn't there, and you can't always look for the deal just because you want a deal to happen. So I'd like to get into the chapter breakdown next. In chapter 1, David Goggins, it's called I Should Have Been a Statistic. So he does a great job of telling his origin story, how he grew up, and how he grew up shaped a lot of who he is and became to be the person he is now, especially in both before and after the military. He discusses several obstacles he had to face as the only, as he calls it in the book, being the only was his basis for overcoming a lot of adversity, but also just becoming something better and becoming something more, and using that as fuel to kind of guide him through his journey. So in chapter 2, Truth Hurts, he kind of continues this path of his upbringing and all the tragedies that go on. A lot of harsh realities he had to go through, being a minority in a rough neighborhood with virtually a single mom through most of his upbringing. And in chapter 3, The Impossible Task, he continues this journey and discusses some of the steps he had to take to get just into the military, taking the ASVAB and losing weight, over 106 pounds in less than 90 days. So really incredible stuff he did to prepare to get to Navy SEAL school. Chapters like 4 and 5, again, he kind of just goes into these principles that guided him throughout his military journey. In a typical breakdown of the book review, I would take each chapter and kind of explain what I thought the takeaways were and or what was great about it. I simply don't want to spoil anything. I think each chapter speaks for itself, and each one has a distinct lesson and a takeaway you can use as motivation in your career, in your investing, in your fitness goals. But I think holistically, I'd like to describe the book, and it's about a man who really is battling a lot of inner struggle and demons and getting over his childhood traumas, but also using it as jet fuel to propel him into the man that he is now. And ultimately, I want to talk about this book in a very abstract way because it made me feel very introspective as I'm reading this. You know, everybody has their own struggles, everybody has their own battles and adversity to overcome. But when you look at somebody like David Goggins and just the unreal amount of physical torture he went through in both his elective career path and otherwise, you start to realize that maybe your own struggles aren't as extreme or as big of a deal as you thought it previously was. So this book really just helped me channel some of the lessons he describes that he learned and kind of apply it to my own life. And so I think that if you're looking for a book that's going to kind of give you a new perspective on pain and suffering, I think that you can really do no better than this book called Can't Hurt Me. So I want to keep this review short and sweet since it's not a typical investment book, but I would highly recommend this for anyone looking for some motivation, because this book really got me going. Well, that'll do it for today's episode 14, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Again, if you like today's episode, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Bippity boppity investment property. Let's go.